Now we're joined by head coach Phil Neville.
Afternoon, morning. How are you doing? We're obviously come to the the last week of the regular season. Probably one of the biggest weeks, I'd say, probably in the club's history so far in terms of the magnitude of the games, and we're really excited about the challenge that's coming. We come off the back of a outstanding performance against Toronto. The focus, the mentality of the group is probably as good as I've ever seen since I've been at the club. So that gives me great confidence. I've got great trust and belief in this group of players. And now it comes down to the moments that you train for, the moments that you wish for, the moments that you dream of, is the big games in the big moments where everything's on the line. And we're really excited. We've got 2 or 3 players out. Gregory's one, Coco's another, and maybe Pozuelo. So we're going to go in with the best, strongest possible team. And like I said before, we've got a squad of players that every single one of them is ready to play, and I've got trust and belief in every single one of them. It's why we have them at the club. We spend hours and hours and hours, days and weeks recruiting a special kind of player, and I think we've seen that special kind of player this year. And we're excited for Wednesday night against a team that's coming off the back of a defeat, but a team that's got loads of quality and outstanding manager. It's our biggest rivals. It's a derby, and it seems as if it's set up for one of those special nights here down at Drive Pink. So I think I said after the game the other night that our supporters have got a massive part to play in the game. We want the stadium full. We have the best supporters 100% in Florida, but in the whole of the MLS. And I'm sure that they'll get behind and fill the stadium and raise the roof on Wednesday night.
We will get started with questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get started with Michelle, then Jose, then Ian.
Phil, we talked a little last night or the other night about Gonzalo and just 12 goals in 14 games, just what he's done, the turnaround he's had this year. Assuming that he's sort of coming toward the end of his career, can you just talk about the past 6 weeks and what you've seen in him and just what he means to this team?
Yeah, I think I said a lot of things after the game that was certainly true in terms of I think when you're a big player with the kind of experience and quality that he's got, I think you have the ability to grab hold of a team by yourself. You've got the ability to carry a team on your back, and I feel as if he did that 6-7 weeks ago, where there was probably a lot of questions about him and about the team, and probably more about him than the team at that time. And I think when we spoke, we spoke about legacy. We spoke about how he wanted to be remembered. We spoke about all the things that are really important in somebody's career. And then you've got 2 choices to make. Do you wave the white flag and give up, or do you show who you are and what you are and what you're about? And I think what he's shown over the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, both on and particularly off the field, he's done more off the field than he's done on it, in my opinion, is that he's proven that he's world class. He's proven that he's a great person, and he's proven that he's a winner. And there's a long way to go left in this season, and he's got to carry this team even further than what he's carried them for the last 6 or 7 weeks. And when I say carry, I'm not being disrespectful to any of the other players in the team, because they've been outstanding too. But I'm saying about inspiration. I'm speaking about leadership, and I'm speaking about inspiring a group of young players that in the big moments in this league, you saw it yesterday with LAFC. Carlos Vela turns up with a goal. The DPs, the big players, stand up when it matters. And I think he stood up, particularly when this club needed him to stand up the most.
When was that talk that you had? This talk you talked about?
3 days before he started scoring all the goals. No, it was probably at the point where Leo was in the team. He was on the bench. There was question marks whether he was ever going to get back on the field in terms of competing for a place. And I'd said on Friday after the game that our relationship's been, I'd say it's been outstanding from day one. I think he was the first player I spoke to when I got the job. And there's been a lot of respect there. And I think the respect has been that we've been open and honest with each other from day one. And sometimes he said things to me and I've said things to him that have been the truth that we've probably not liked, but we've needed to hear about each other. And, you know, I'd say that in terms of character, and I said to the boys this morning, if there's ever someone that embedded someone that you saw in terms of character, he has shown character in this last 2.5 years, because he's been probably ridiculed, abused, criticized, adored. He's been through it all. And you know, I go back to what I said at the start. It's about legacy. It's about how you want to be remembered. It's about how people think of you when you leave. And I feel as if that's been his biggest challenge. And winners stand up and losers tend to hide and sit away, and he stood up.
Next question, Jose, then Ian.
Phil, what have you learned from him, from Gonzalo? I mean, as a coach, obviously he played at the highest level, several coaches. You are just getting started basically in the club level. You know your thing, but I mean, when he plays at that level and has so many experiences, within those conversations, what have you learned from him that has helped you be a better coach now?
Well, I think when I came in, you always have these preconceived ideas of people, or particularly, like, for instance, centre forwards don't tend to be coaches in the game. Centre forwards are probably very individual, selfish, worry about themselves because they have to have that single-mindedness. And I think with Gonzalo, I came in and thought that he wouldn't be probably a student of the game, somebody with great tactical knowledge, or the thirst to actually learn and want to get involved in the tactical side of it. And he's been fantastic. I remember when we sat down with him, spoke to him about set plays, maybe a quarter way through the first season, and that was a real massive eye opener, because you think about the amount of experience that he's gained from the best coaches in the world that he's played under. So he's got a wealth of knowledge, and then all of a sudden you think, well, we need to tap into that a little bit more, and we did do, and he's helped us. We've helped him. He's without doubt one of the best finishers I've ever seen or worked with or played with. 100%. He's an incredible finisher. He has that street football mentality of wanting to train every single day. When people last season were criticizing him, he was the only player that trained every single minute of every single day, never wanted a day off, never wanted to share responsibility, never wanted to take the easy route. So very quickly I realized that he had something that really sometimes nowadays you can't coach or teach. He had that inner street fighting mentality. Because of everything that he'd been through in his life had really toughened him up in terms of his character. And I'd say in the last 6 or 7 weeks, I think what the biggest learning is that we've probably spent a lot of time, because of the goals that he's been scoring, because of his attitude around the we're playing with someone world class. The players have opened their arms to him, and that's been a two-way thing. And it was funny because before one game, I asked the team how many titles were in the room, because I wanted to know how much experience. It was almost like a little test, because I felt that it was only probably Pozuelo and Gonzalo that had won major things. And he straight away said, I think he said, I won 17 trophies or 17 titles. And the whole room stood up and clapped him, because he just said it really casually, almost embarrassingly, with great humility, because we was going around the room, one title, no titles, no titles. He said, 17, and he just stood up and said 17, and the whole room gave him a standing ovation. It was really a powerful moment. And you know, I think what we've seen this year is we've seen him take responsibility with the younger boys. There was a point early in the season when he was in the recovery room telling all the younger players what it was like at Real Madrid and Juventus, and playing under Fabio Capello and Sarri, and these are moments that are special for a young player, because them young players go away and all of a sudden he's become a mentor rather than someone that's looked upon as someone that's not part of this club. So
Next question, Ian.
Thanks, Rafa. Phil, I know today's a special day for Gonzalo, but on the game, an important one for you. You said maybe on Pozuelo. Can you just
Yeah.
clarify the situation there? And then the question that I had for you have the trio of Uruguayans, Pereira, Araujo, and Facundo Torres, especially the latter, that if you play narrow could provide some, with his pace out wide, could provide some issues for you. How do you counter each of those individual? They present a different problem, each of them, and especially with the first game, they were a little successful too. in that
Yeah,
regard.
well, they've got to worry about us. That's our mentality. We have full respect for them. They're a really good team. You know, I think Torres has been one of the best young players in the league this season, without a shadow of a doubt. One of the best players we've played against. Araujo has been impressive as well, and Pereira has been a good player in this league for a long time. So we know all about them. In terms of Pozuelo, I'd say he's a major doubt. And I know I've played games with you this season in terms of that, but he's a major doubt, and we've got to hope that he wakes up tomorrow morning in better shape than what he woke up today. We pushed him to play against Toronto. I thought he was outstanding against Toronto. But like I say, I think we've got faith in every single player in this team, and you know we've played a different system in the last two games, but our go-to system has always been playing with width at home, playing with wingers. We've got 4 or 5 wingers that at this moment in time don't particularly like the fact when I put the team up, there's no wingers on the pitch. So maybe tomorrow night they'll be a little bit happier because we've got strength in depth in wide areas, which means there'll be opportunities for other players. And another night where we can show our flexibility and adaptability. And like I say, I've got trust in every single player that comes in, and people like Ulloa, Taylor, Vasilev, in particular, have got big nights on Wednesday to perform. Groin, adductor, yeah.
Andrea. You can get started, Andrea. That's fine.
Well, Phil, talking about this game with Orlando, I remember a couple weeks ago when it got canceled, we got very mad.
I got mad.
That moment that is such an important game for both teams, because you could qualify for the playoff. They could qualify also, but they could also, you can both get it here. So did you think that it would end up like this? And do you still think about that constellation when
Well, to be honest with you, I think, yeah, at the time, I don't think we were best pleased, but I think it's actually worked out better for us, you know, having the game in hand at this point. And you think about the way that God works sometimes, I think it's set up for, I think the game on Wednesday night will be a much better game than the game probably on that Saturday back in whenever it was. So I think 6-7 weeks ago, me and Chris both agreed that it was going to go to the last 3 games of the season. We were lucky enough to play first on Friday night, which I think put a lot of pressure on other teams, you know, to see us win the game, see the momentum that we've got, see the confidence that we've got, scoring a late goal again, because I can only think about Atlanta watching our game, thinking that they're still in with a playoff push, and then we score in the 85th minute, and all of a sudden they wake up the next morning with a mountain to climb and they lose the game. So I think that probably would have had an effect. And it means now we know exactly what we have to do. We're in control of everything that we have to do, and we're playing at home. Our home has been our fortress this year. It's where our supporters have been our 12th player, and where we've had all our success. And Wednesday night's another night for us to go out and enjoy a game of football. And I think because it's against Orlando, it'll make it even more special. I think there's a great rivalry now between both clubs and both teams, and I hope that continues on Wednesday night.
Thank you. Any other questions? No?
Good.
Okay, that concludes.
Thank you.
Phil Neville's press conference. Thank you.